We're the editing team. My name's AJ Landeros.
My name is Ryan Murphy.
And Philip Schwab.
So the process began with collaboration with the content team, and that pretty much involved getting the equipment set up, making sure they had the right audio cables, camera. We kind of had the goal to make the highest quality video possible, so we went with HDV and a lavalier mic rather than using a flip camera, where it's a little bit more amateur. So we wanted the most professional look possible. Once the content got back to us, we digitized it and stored it on a transfer server that I had access to through DIA. And that actually turned out to be really convenient because we were able to work on any computer in the lab and access the server rather than having to copy all the footage, which ended up being like 20 gigabytes from computer to computer. So it was really convenient having it in one central location. We ended up using Final Cut Pro rather than iMovie because of its flexibility, and we were a little bit more familiar with it. iMovie is a little bit streamlined for people who are less familiar with editing, so I was happy with the tools that Final Cut Pro had for us, which includes the compressor application built into Final Cut Studio. I was a little bit more familiar with the compression settings and the kind of files that it could output, and I wanted to go that specific route, so that's why we chose Final Cut Pro. So in Final Cut Pro, we kind of cut up the clips and made them into these what are called subclips by subject, and we labeled each one of these subclips with the subject of the content, and it was pretty easy to then drag it kind of like you're making a puzzle, like into the timeline based on the subject of the clip, and move them around as you saw fit, rather than going through the video every time and picking out, oh, that sounds pretty good, let me use that. So we were able to get a pretty good view of everything and work that way. So as we began to compile these subclips and drop them down in the timeline, we started to see some themes emerge, and we were able to make 5 videos, which include a video about the NAMI walk, a video about what does NAMI mean to those involved, one about recovery being possible, one about the Austin Clubhouse, and finally we decided to use all of Lisa Moore's interview because we found that the content included in the interview was really helpful and informative. So, in terms of actually putting the videos on the internet, we decided to go with YouTube because you don't need to have a private server for hosting. You don't have to worry about hosting. Like I said earlier, we were able to use Compressor to come out with some nice YouTube-friendly files. And another advantage of having them on YouTube is that you can easily embed the source code into whatever website you see fit, rather than uploading it to your server and posting a link to the movie file. And finally, we posted the YouTube clips into our wiki, which ended up being pretty convenient for the review process because each member of the class could then make comments on the wiki and see all the videos we had as a list of video, rather than going to a specific YouTube page and comment on each video independently.
Much like Content had, we had our own struggles getting everyone together in one spot, even though we had the good luck of having a lab that we all could access. But we did a good job getting everyone together when we could and get things done. Also, even though we were considered the editing team, we did have a little bit of curation that we had to do. Philip and I got responsible for making music for the videos to give a little backdrop to them. We just really, I think, do you work with GarageBand as well?
Yeah, we basically just used GarageBand. Tried to make it, I don't have too much experience with GarageBand, so just kind of used loops, and I think Ryan might have gone a little bit more in depth than I did, but it worked out, just trying to draw into emotions and get the mood of the videos through music.
Just gonna go ahead and take a look at the video.
Yeah.
I think that NAMI means hope for me. I think that we have spent decades with a horrible mental health system, and NAMI is kind of the silver lining and the hope for the future to make sure that we won't continue with a mental health system that's broken.
It's meant the world to us. I truly do not know, and I have said, I don't know how we would have survived without it, and that's very true.
It also means to me that it's something where my spirituality has reemerged.
NAMI to me means a place where families and consumers are able to come together and be able to solve problems, solve situations, whether it's on a local level or at a state level, even in the United States. They're a very active group, love them, and they've really helped a lot of people in their communities.
I think it's become a second family. NAMI is such an amazing support system, and you never meet a person that's going to judge you. And I think that NAMI, for me, has really just become a huge support system, and they're family. You have a built-in family.
It's not just an organization. It is a group of wonderful people and developing programs to help people like us and others that we've yet to reach out to.
So this video is the NAMI Walk video.
We only have one fundraiser a year at NAMI Austin, and it's our NAMI Walk. And we just had it October 10th this year, and we had over 1,500 walkers, and we raised over $150,000. So really, it's just making the personal connections. That personal connection is where we get our funding. They really believe in our mission, so they help raise funds for us.
It's fun. I enjoy walking, especially when it's along the river and in the downtown area. I just like to see the things around me as I walk.
It's a really fun way for everyone to get together and have a day together. Plus, at the same time, you are doing a walk to help out NAMI, just like NAMI's going to, a lot of the money's going to go for the house and the home that they're going to build, the club room. It's a fun thing to do. Everybody looks forward to it.
And especially with a lot of people being there, it's like a miracle come true. Something came true, and it was something I actually prayed for, and it came true.
And finally, this is the video about why, with NAMI, recovery is possible.
I have ADD. My mom is bipolar.
I come from a family of recovering alcoholics. One of my best friends is bipolar.
My grandparents both had dementia.
My roommate has OCD. I have a cousin who has schizophrenia.
My dad suffers from depression. My uncle has depression and suicidal tendencies.
My brother has ADD and bipolar disorder, and my cousin has mild Asperger's.
I have bipolar disorder and anxiety, and my brother had bipolar disorder and anxiety.
NAMI is a resource, and they're so big, that it's just so many people that are able to really find. If you need something and you need to find it, NAMI is a good advocate, and they would be able to help you research and find, the different information that you're needing.
The brain is definitely the final frontier. We understand very little about how it works. Mental illness is almost epidemic, and it's increased these days.
Recovery from mental illness is possible. I think that people don't know that yet. They just think that this is a diagnosis that you get and the rest of your life is going to be terrible, but we have so many members that have gotten some of the most severe diagnoses, and they are doing wonderfully. They're married, they're working, they have kids. They are in recovery. So I would say recovery is possible.